So I just walked around the corner from the Radisson Hotel and found that directly behind that was the Freemason building, and the old men were going for their presumably all-male Freemasonry thing. And then I realized I was one block from 8C Arsenalsgatan, which puts me back at this sort of pilgrimage as this epicenter of global finance when it comes to financing war industries. And it's directly down that corridor behind this little medieval times expo. And so 8C Arsenalsgatan is the house of Investor AB, which owns Saab, Ericsson, and AstraZeneca of Seroquel, and they've been subject to numerous raids and fines from Department of Justice, from European authorities regarding bribery schemes in Mexico, in Iraq as well. Saab is sending a lot of war materials to the current Libya conflict, and they have participating also with Ericsson. SAS Airlines is also owned by Investor AB, and SAS was the airline on which Assange's laptops were stolen in his flight out of Sweden. So that was surely permissible. And so when you take a quick look around, right behind us here is the big MK, and that's where Anna Lindh was murdered. In my letter yesterday to Lars Weidenholm, the CEO, and 2 days ago now, exactly 48 hours ago, approximately 1 o'clock 2 days ago, I said, well, you don't have me killed like Anna Lindh, and it wasn't the implication that he necessarily had Anna Lindh killed, but somebody did. And some of the theories are that Thomas Bodström, the lawyer in the partnering firm with Claes Borgström, who is lawyer and head in charge of the victims here in Sweden, or the purported victims, Thomas Bodström was sending detainees back for the CIA to be tortured in Egypt. And Thomas Bodström, when faced with these accusations, shifted the blame to Anna Lindh, and she became a sort of scapegoat for this CIA criminal type activities and human rights violations. Then another theory that I heard, which I can't substantiate, is that Anna Lindh was responsible for handing over Sweden to the CIA. So a lot of people took that really seriously, and they disliked the level of control that she allowed into the Swedish government. So in regards to that, Thomas Bodström quickly left Sweden prior to the Cablegate release. So that's very critical. When you put this together, Björn Hurtig, who was a court-appointed criminal defense attorney appointed to Assange, is now having his career tarnished by this same mechanism. His bar society is questioning him. And then the stock exchange dealings with Börs Dubai returned the Swedish stock market to Sweden, to the House of Wallenberg. And this occurred the day of the Assange ankle monitor placed on him. The theories of Anonymous Operation 1 I find very interesting. I've had some interesting correspondence from Vaken. Vaken just wanted to reaffirm the Wallenberg significance. Joachim of Daddy's Sverige wrote to explain to me that Expressen is owned by the Bonnier family, which is then owned by Wallenberg. And I was looking at Alla Bullock this morning to check out the business registries, but it seems to be the case that indeed, if Expressen is owned by the family that has every reason to destroy WikiLeaks, why was it that the PR group, which is just over the other side of Gamla stan over there, Prime PR, which is friends of Karl Rove, who is friends of Prime Minister Reinfeldt, who has actually misspoken in terms of prejudicing the Swedish public against Assange. How is this not just a very, very small town criminal network? But the Prime PR connection is the Anna Arden Twitter in September. She was leaving Prime PR in Gamla stan and twittered it. And I think this Twitter was an act of sabotage against Karl Rove's machinations, so we can know what kind kind of disastrous policy they're into. Olof Palme was killed around the corner from NK, and Olof Palme's murder is very interesting as well, because he's sort of worshipped with this sacrosanct reverence by the Social Democrats, and the Social Democrats are subject of another scandal involving Prime PR back in Gamla Stan. Prime PR was giving bribes to the Social Democrats, which have their ABF Huset for their educational lectures, just around the corner from where Olof Palme was killed and also buried quite nearby. So Prime PR in December was shown to be giving bribes to the Social Democrats to make